Okay, so let's talk about the money in your bank account, because something huge is happening behind the scenes, and we're talking about the biggest names on the British high street getting involved. Let's dive in and figure out what's really going on here.
Yep, you heard that right. And no, this isn't about a new 50-pound note or some fancy new coin. This is way bigger. We're talking about a fundamental change to how money itself actually works. It's a move from the bank accounts we're all used to into a brand new digital frontier.
So, the big question is, how? How are they actually pulling this off? Well, it all comes down to this really groundbreaking pilot project that's designed to bring the good old British pound into the digital age. And look, this is not some small backroom experiment. Just look at the names involved. We're talking about the absolute heavy hitters of British banking: Barclays, HSBC, Lloyds, NatWest, Nationwide, and Santander. I mean, when you see that group get together on something, you know it's the real deal. They're all working together on this, with the trade group UK Finance kind of leading the charge.
Okay, so the main concept they're working with here is called a tokenized deposit. Now I know that sounds super technical and maybe a little intimidating, but it's actually pretty simple when you break it down. Just imagine the money sitting in your bank account right now. Instead of it just being a number in a bank's private computer system, it's represented as a unique, secure digital token on a shared network. It's still your money, 100%. It's just in this new, much more flexible format.
This whole project is going to be running for a while, until about mid-2026, and they've set some pretty ambitious goals. They're talking about giving us more control over our payments, doing a better job at preventing fraud, and just making the whole settlement process way more efficient. And they're not just messing around in a lab. They're testing this with real-world stuff, like payments on online marketplaces, the whole process of remortgaging a house, and even wholesale bond trading.
Okay, but hold on a second. How on earth do you get all these giant competing banks with their own ancient, complicated computer systems to all play nicely on one shared network? I mean, that sounds almost impossible, right? Well, that brings us to the really clever bit of tech that's making this whole thing possible.
The key, the secret sauce, if you will, is coming from a company right here in the UK called Quant Network. And what they do is solve a problem that has been a massive headache in the crypto and digital asset space for years, which is how do you get all these different isolated networks to actually talk to each other?
Their solution is a piece of technology called Overledger. Now, the official term is a DLT operating system. DLT stands for Distributed Ledger Technology, but forget the jargon. The easiest way to think about it is like a universal translator. It lets completely different blockchains and ledgers understand each other. So Barclays can have its system, HSBC can have its system, but Overledger sits right on top, acting as that translator, letting them all communicate and move value around seamlessly. So how does this universal translator actually do its job? Well, it's built with these 4 really smart layers. Think of it like a news organization. At the bottom, you have the transaction layer. These are like the local reporters, recording all the facts, the transactions on their home turf. Then you have the messaging layer. This is the central news desk, gathering all those reports. Next up is the filtering and ordering layer. This is your editor-in-chief. It checks every single report, makes sure it's valid, and puts them in the right order. And finally, at the top, you have the application layer. This is where the magic really happens. It's where you can build an app that uses information from all those different sources at once.
Okay, so a universal translator sounds cool, but why is it so incredibly important? Well, it's because it's designed to solve what a lot of people call the broken bridge problem that's been haunting the digital world for years.
For the longest time, you see, most blockchains have been totally isolated. Imagine a bunch of cities, each with its own perfect road network, but with absolutely no highways connecting them. If you were in one city, your assets, your data, it was just stuck there. The whole goal of interoperability is to build that massive, interconnected highway system, to let value just flow freely and securely from one network to another. And that is the fundamental problem that this whole UK banking pilot is built to fix.
And the vision for this, it's huge. We're not just talking about slightly faster payments. As the CEO of Quant, Gilbert Verdian, says, this is about creating something called programmable money. So what on earth is that? Well, think about it like this. Imagine your rent could pay itself automatically from your account, but with a rule attached. For example, the money will only transfer if your landlord has proven they've completed the annual gas safety check. That's programmable money. It's money with rules and logic baked right into it.
But, and this is a massive but, Building these bridges between networks is incredibly dangerous. If you get the security wrong, the results can be absolutely catastrophic. I mean, the history of crypto is basically a graveyard of failed bridges. You had the Ronin hack, where over $600 million was stolen, the wormhole exploit, another $325 million gone, all because of security flaws in these connecting bridges. So, yeah, the stakes here could not be any higher.
And that brings us to the really big question, doesn't it? We have all these major UK banks using this brand new technology, trying to build the financial system of the future. But can they actually deliver on that promise? Can they build a better, safer system without making the same catastrophic mistakes we've seen so many times before?
And that really gets to the heart of it. There are two sides to this whole story: the incredible promise of what this technology can do and the very real dangers that come along with it.
So on the one hand, you've got the promise, right? A financial system that's way more efficient, with lightning-fast payments and these incredible new tools like programmable money. The dream is more control for us and a better way to fight fraud. But then, on the other hand, you have the peril. The danger is very real. As we just saw, connecting all these systems opens up a whole new world of security risks. There's also the worry that the new systems, built by these giant banks, could just create new bottlenecks, new points of centralized control. And remember, all of this is happening while the regulators are still trying to figure out what the rules should even be.
And really, that's what you need to take away from all this. This UK banking pilot, it's so much more than just a tech upgrade. It's the beginning of a whole new chapter for what money even is. And as our money literally becomes programmable code, it leaves us with one final crucial question that we all need to be asking. Who gets to write the rules?